This podcast is for informational purposes only and does not constitute legal, tax, investment, financial, or other advice. It is not intended to cause or induce breach of an existing agency agreement.
This is the Victoria Real Estate Podcast. Hello and welcome to the Victoria Real Estate Podcast, where we discuss everything Victoria real estate. I'm Adrian Maclaren. I'm joined by
Vincent Baart, Personal Real Estate Corporation.
So compliant. And
Jocelyn Cseff.
And we are the CityNest team. We're real estate agents at RE/MAX Camosun in Greater Victoria. And like always, on our monthly market update episodes, we're also joined by
David Steinberg.
Hi, David.
Hi.
Where are you from, David?
Olympic Mortgage.
Yep, that's right.
Singular, I might add. We were just before we were recording. Mortgage, not mortgages.
Not mortgages, but I don't think it matters.
Okay.
He does do mortgages.
Yes.
Multiple, not just one. Before we get started, though, we have some exciting news. We actually have our first sponsor on the podcast.
Yay.
Yeah, pretty exciting. Canine Car Care has partnered with us. They offer remote car detailing inside and out. They offer 100% satisfaction guaranteed product. One of their marketing tools that stood out for me in particular is how a clean car equals instant confidence.
Oh, yeah. I can speak to that.
Yeah.
As a mother with a lot of, I said I was going to be the mother that never let her child eat in her car. And now I'm like, here's the goldfish, here's the Triscuits, and they're everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's hard when you have clients that want to ride in the car with you.
Yeah. Like for me, it hit home because, like Jocelyn said, as a real estate agent, I basically live out of my car, and that leads to my car getting dirty and filled up with, garbage, empties of not alcoholic empties, bubblies and bottled water. And Matea, my partner, she has even referred to herself as a passenger peasant versus a passenger princess. And I think literally this last weekend, she said, my biggest pet peeve is that when I get into your car, my feet hit 19 cans of bubblies and bottled water
that would
and
drive me
crumpled
nuts.
paper.
Yeah.
And
I can hear the sound.
Yeah. And so anyway, I'm a new man now because today Sam, the owner of Canine Car Care, is actually right behind us in the parking lot outside the RE/MAX and Oak Bay office, and he's cleaning my car.
Yeah.
Pretty exciting. So yeah, he does the remote detailing. So for me, I get to work at the office. I'm just working my regular job, doesn't inconvenience me at all. He's out there vacuuming, spraying it down, buffing it, whatever, all of the things, and I'll have a sparkly new car hopefully in a couple hours.
Save your soon-to-be marriage.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, Sam. Anyway, if you want more info, it's caninecarcare.com, and all their pricing and what they offer is all on the website. And yeah, awesome. Guys, weekly stories. What's going on? Can you tell me anything new?
Yeah, I'll go. I had interesting situation came up, not real estate related, but it's kind of fun relating to meeting strangers. For people who know me, they know I like boats. That's one of my hobbies. And I saw on a bulletin board, someone had posted, hey, I've got a boat, and if you are looking to go sailing, just call this number. So it's kind of like, if you're looking for a good time, call this number. And I said, well, I am looking for a good time, and I do enjoy sailing. So I called the number. And this guy, shout out Al, he's just like, yeah, I got this boat. I could use an extra set of hands on, on docking and all that stuff. And I was like, yeah, let's go. So we spent almost a whole Saturday together, 5-6 hours, just out sailing. And
So
I didn't
romantic.
die. He didn't die. The boat didn't sink. We had a great time. So if you have seen on a bulletin board someone offering a good time, maybe take them up on it.
I don't know if that's good advice.
No.
Not legal advice.
When Vince first told us this story, I was, as a woman, obviously appalled, because I think we learn our whole lives, don't get onto a boat or into a car with a stranger. But you're still here. So
Yeah, now we're boating buddies.
There's got to be some red flags like that, leading up to it. You'd be like, oh, maybe I shouldn't get on this boat. But you had no red flags. The guy, Alice.
No,
like
I
guy.
chatted with him on the phone.
Yeah.
I'm like.
And obviously you're meeting him beforehand to, probably help with
Yeah,
boat stuff.
I did have sort of a safety briefing with him. So I'm like, hey, listen, before we go off the dock together into the wild waters of Oak Bay, can we just talk about safety? He's like, that's a really good idea. So we talked about our plan if we start taking on water, where all the pumps are, our first aid kit, who has allergies. So we had a good briefing. So by the end of that, I was like, okay, yeah, this guy.
You felt confident.
Yeah.
That you weren't going to be the start of a podcast somewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah. You didn't open up where the life jackets were and find like rope and like cleaning
Duct
tape,
supplies,
yeah.
duct tape, and so everything was good.
Was Brianna on speed dial like the whole time?
No, but she was like, hey, would you mind just like texting me every couple hours to make sure like just status update. Hey, not dead, not at the bottom of Oak Bay. Yep. Sounds
It's kind
good.
of like when we go on a showing to meet someone on the internet.
Safety first.
Yeah, we check in.
first.
Check in. Still alive. Still
Awesome.
here.
Jocelyn, you had quite the weekend.
I did have quite the weekend. Yeah. Well, it started off, I had a trip planned to Vancouver to go race the Vancouver Half Marathon. I was very excited. I've been training for it for a bit. Was real into that. Went over on the Saturday, went out for dinner Saturday night and got food poisoning. So yeah, did not race the race. Checked with ChatGPT. Not a good idea to run a half marathon after having food poisoning.
That's good advice.
How many porta potties are there per every couple kilometers?
Well,
Too
I was
risky?
looking. Yeah, like, am I gonna? Yeah, it's not a good idea. You have zero fluid left in your body. So I did not race, but we did salvage it. Went to Whistler, saw some friends, ate a lot of dry toast, and here I am, survived on the other side.
You're back.
I'll be back next year. Shout out to Moxie's in Vancouver.
Oh no,
Wow,
that's not
right
the,
on, throw him under the bus.
that's not the shout out you want.
Oh, sorry guys. Yeah, good times.
Awesome, David. What about you?
Yeah, I've got some new aspects to my midlife crisis happening.
That's exciting.
The balding is increasing rapidly at this point in time.
Yeah.
So not great. That's not awesome. But
Yeah.
also I'm experiencing heartburn as of late,
Okay.
especially when I go to bed. Now I realize I can't eat late now anymore, and I can't
Right.
eat anything spicy or remotely
David.
tomato saucy
Oh.
before bed. And sometimes if I'm getting the heartburn at night, instead of taking a Tums or something, I just have to sleep sitting up. So not
in your lazy boy
Not
chair.
ideal.
not a great story.
This is why
Well-
Lazy Boys came about. I get it now.
Middle aged.
David,
Yeah.
as in my past life as a pharmacist, maybe we can sit down and have a little consultation
Yeah.
about helping you with these. Both of the there's
Oh, is there a
I
pill
was-
for that?
Yeah.
yeah.
I was really hoping that this would lead to like, I bought a red Porsche.
Yeah, that's what
I'm
I was
going
like.
to
Sports car.
Hawaii. No, heartburn.
Heartburn and balding.
Come on,
Yeah,
man.
that's okay. Life's good though. Life's good.
That's good. I'm super easy. I was actually in Vancouver as well. I didn't realize Jocelyn was also in Vancouver, but I went to my first Indian wedding.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I went
So much
to a Sikh temple and got to watch the whole ceremony and eat very good food. And then obviously went to a reception of over 400 people. Wow. Yeah.
Did someone ride a horse?
No horses.
No?
There was the sabers. The
Nice.
sword.
Yeah.
And then lots of theatrics. One thing that was really impressive to me is the videographers were recording everything during the temple day, and then the next day at the reception, they had a fully crafted movie-esque video. Like some of the best editing and picture, like everything, literally
Ready
next
to go.
day,
Next
ready
day.
to go the next day.
Wow.
That they played at the reception, and I was like, that is amazing. They
a fast
recorded
turnover.
everything, and then 14 hours later, just beautiful movie.
Everyone I've known who's had videos done for their wedding, it's like 14 months for
Yes,
that thing
yeah,
to be
yeah,
done.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that's
yeah.
incredible.
Yeah. I'm guessing you're probably paying a premium for that.
Yes, yeah.
But,
Couple extra dollars for the
I was
24
I
hours.
was really really impressed by that. So
Very
yeah,
cool.
congrats to Angela and Suk. So yeah.
Very cool.
Guys, let's get into, I guess, the nitty gritty. So summary of the podcast, we are going to have a small debate on what the best investment for under $500,000 is.
In real estate.
We're going to have a mortgage update with David. And we're going to talk about kind of like sentiment. BC Renters Report kind of came out. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. And then we're going to do a little neighborhood highlight about Esquimalt and then just kind of like an overall market update. So to start it off, guys, I asked everyone to prep.
We are so prepped.
We do. Prepped.
Ready to roll.
What would you buy for under $500,000 as an investment? Gimme. So what do you got?
I mean, I'll go. I used to say it was a condo, right? You have professional management services, hopefully, so that it handles a lot of the hassle. I missed garbage day. These are the kind of things that landlords have to deal with. So my theory was always, well, if you've got a professional strata manager, they handle 80% of the issues, noise complaints between neighbors, etc. That's changed. I would say in the last couple of years, strata fees keep going up. Right now, we're sitting at, I think the average in BC for a strata is around $600 a month for a monthly strata fee, which, that's over $7,000 per year that you're paying so that your tenant isn't asking you about garbage day. To me, that's no longer worth
Sorry,
it.
Vince, what was the percentage that you quoted there?
Percentage of what? Sorry,
for the management fees.
Average fee is about $600. Now that's like a two bedroom.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm saying you're paying over $7,000 a year for that service, and you're still going to get a knock on your door for a special assessment. And if you own a single family detached, you get to choose when the roof gets done. When you own a strata, your neighbors choose when the roof gets replaced, and some of them are unnecessarily cautious, I would say. So that used to be my answer. Right now, I would say half duplexes outside of the core are going to be really attractive because we've built so much rental housing that, my little condo that I'm renting out can't compete with a brand new purpose-built rental building. So tenants are going to move towards that type of inventory because it's cleaner and newer, but also there's just more to choose from. So that, I think we're seeing downward pressure on rents. But long story short, if I was to go with a $500,000 budget, I would probably be trying to get into a half duplex, sort of mid-island, maybe an hour and a half outside of Victoria. And again, I'm kind of shooting myself in the foot here as a realtor. That's not my area of expertise. I don't typically drive more than an hour and a half to go outside of my market area. But I would say you're going to get a better you're going to get a better cash flow up there. And the beauty of the half duplexes is you're not paying the premium of freehold, but you're also typically not paying strata fee. You're just paying for shared insurance costs, which are usually, $150 a month. So that's my answer. An El Cheapo duplex that you can just kind of hold and rent out.
Okay, awesome. I will let either Josh or David go, and I'm actually going to see if I can find a half duplex mid-islands while you guys are doing that.
You don't think they exist?
No. I just want to pull up maybe an example that I can link.
Okay. Otherwise, I'll just one other quick idea. I was up in Port Hardy the other weekend on a road trip because that's what I like to do. And you can get, like in Sayward, BC or Zabalos, you can get like a condo for $60,000 or $80,000. But you've got seasonal vacancy there. You've got, it's a much smaller community. So if one new rental building goes up, like your rents drop like dramatically overnight. So if you're looking for cheap deals, your mileage might vary.
Yeah. I mean, I share a lot of the same sentiments as Vince, where I feel like, that half duplex or again, townhouse, you don't really want those strata fees, but if you're getting into the 3 to 4 bedroom range, what you can charge for rent goes up quite a bit. They just are in more demand. We are definitely seeing downward pressure on rentals for 1 bedrooms right now. Not seeing that so much in the 2 to 3 to 4 bedrooms. And also I would look up, again, please buy in Victoria. It's wonderful here. But if you're looking strictly for an investment, looking up island just kind of makes more sense because the cost to purchase is lower. The rent is actually relatively similar in certain areas. If you're looking kind of like Duncan, Comox, Courtney, like those sort of corridors where the rent that they can get is close to what you can get in Victoria, but the cost to purchase the property is quite a bit lower.
Yeah. I'm looking at one right now. Vince.
You found one. Oh, phew. Okay, they exist. But I was going to say too, like the other thing with that 3 or 4 bedroom place, I used to say to investors, don't go after that because families will typically move in. And the downside with families is they'll typically stay for 5 or 10 years. And in a world where rents keep going up, you don't want someone to be there for 10 years. You want them to move in for 2 or 3 years and then move out so that you can fix the place up, maintain it well, and keep getting market rents. But now in a world where market rents are kind of sliding, having a tenant who says, yeah, I'm happy to keep paying this for the next 5 to 7 years, that's actually maybe a good thing in today's market.
Yeah, I would agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And also I feel like the quality of tenants that you're getting in your property as well, where you have someone who is maintaining the home like it's their own, especially when you get families and that sort of thing, where they're appreciative of the property that they're living in. They do spend the time that an owner would spend in some circumstances to ensure the property is maintained. And if you go to sell the asset at the end, it hasn't been completely destroyed or anything. So yeah, I don't know.
So I was able to find one half duplex that sold, and it looked good. 1,483 square feet, 4-bed, 2-bath. But I'm wondering, because all of the comparables are like around 600, so I'm wondering if there's something wrong with this property.
What's wrong with this one? What about like Port Alberni area?
Yeah. So
I
this
feel
was
like
Ladysmith, and Ladysmith,
Okay.
I would be like, wow, that would be great, because I feel like that Ladysmith is like a really nice neighborhood, and Nanaimo's a little tiny bit outside of the price range. Port Alberni looks definitely doable. There's quite a few
Yeah.
there. Courtney,
I think it's doable.
you're right. Yeah, you're right at that 475 to 550 range. Like there's a bunch there. So yeah. All right, Vince, great answer.
What would you do, David?
I really like yours, Vince, but I think I'm going to do something a little different and say I might find some other like-minded investors and purchase a single-family dwelling for rent, maybe a single-family dwelling with a suite to maximize out rents. And it's just important in this situation, obviously, to have find like-minded investors and have a really good, solid contract in place.
With an exit plan.
Exit plans, payout plans. You know, what if one investor wants to leave? Generally, it's for the long term. Right.
Yeah.
You know, and this is more for people that are maybe in my demographic or your guys' demographic with kids. Who, when that kid is 20 or 25, they're going to need a place.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That's going to be a place that's there for them.
Yeah. I really like that.
So
Yeah. And one thing to add on to David's, that his under 500 investment kind of fits, is I would try to choose a lot that fits missing middle development as
like
well.
a future fourplex.
So you buy that, and then it's not like a now plan, but in the future, and then one day a developer comes along and says, oh, your lot would be perfect because we've spec'd it out. And we said, yeah, the frontage is good, the size is good, like it makes sense for development. And then when you are approached, like hopefully maybe you can cash out a little bit higher than what a single family dwelling would be selling for.
I guess, like, what's your end game in the investment?
Yeah.
I mean, another one we've seen too is, you know, say you have a child who's a young child and you want them to go to university in the place that you live. You want them to have that option.
Yep.
Purchasing a condo, putting a renter in there, and having that as a long-term plan, and they can see to do with it as they please when they become of age.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I think everyone's kind of hating on condos right now, but I think isn't like one of the things, like when everyone's doing this,
Do the opposite.
do the opposite,
Yeah.
and that's been true in the history of all
you're
time.
so right.
I'm so right. And everyone's hating on condos so much, like, oh my god. So, and even myself, I catch myself being like, oh man, I don't know if it makes sense. Like they're gonna keep making more, but we're in the worst possible time, right in this current moment.
Some good deals. They won't cash flow, but they're really good deals.
Yeah. So I had two ideas for my under 500. One, I actually can't find one that's currently listed, but it is pending now, and it's a 2-bed, 2-bath on Bear Mountain, facing the golf course, 835 square feet for $480,000.
So newer also.
2006 build. And looking at the photos, like, you know, it's decently renoed, like it's good layout. It's not like crappy. Like if I'm against condos in like a bachelor or, you know, a fake 1-bedroom where they have like the sliding doors. I don't like those. But if you have something like a functional layout that makes sense for a family with one kid or something like that, like, and, you know, has the potential for, you know, has a nice view or like has other attractive features, that's where I'm kind of into it.
Well,
And
we see resale for 2 bedrooms as well. It's usually stronger than 1-bedroom studio.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then my other rebuttal one is, since I couldn't actually find a 2-bedroom, 2-bath on Bear Mountain for under 500, is to actually buy a single family dwelling out in Jordan River Souk area. So there's one here, 2-bed, 2-bath, like actual single family dwelling, freehold. Again, out in, this one was in Souk as well, Jordan River area. And this one's like $539 for like a 900 square foot little kind of like
Negotiate
cabin.
that down.
Of course.
It looks like a cabin. Yeah.
It's a cabin, yeah. But the idea with this would be to turn this into an Airbnb. Yeah.
I'm curious, while we have an experienced mortgage broker as a captive audience, David, how would you handle Like if someone was trying to invest in, say, a cabin and turn it into an Airbnb where there are no restrictions and assuming it's all legal, how do you handle financing? Is it just a huge down payment, or do you buy it as a rental and then flip the use, 6 months in or when you have vacancy?
GST.
That's exactly what you said. Lenders hate the words Airbnb.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So generally we try to stay away from telling lenders that eventually the property is going to be an Airbnb. Even though it's fully legal, we do say, we explain to the client that, okay, you're going to rent this out for the long term.
Yep.
And then after you own the condo, if you decide to change your mind, that's up to you. That's what happens all the time with clients, is that they buy something, they have one intention in quotes, and then they change their mind after they purchase the property and buy something different.
Just to confirm, it is still legal in Canada to change your mind?
It
Perfect.
now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Now.
Not legal advice.
And as long as you're paying as long as you're paying the mortgage, it's not like the lender is going to come and knock on the door and saying, "Is this an Airbnb or is this a rental?" Is the family living here, or they're not going to. They forget about it once the mortgage is being paid every month.
The government might.
I could see though, insurance might start to become an issue. So that might be it's just something to keep in mind. So if you contact your insurance company and they say, well, yeah, you can't have this sort of Airbnb use, that might become a gray area.
Well, you have to change your insurance.
But then would your lender occasionally a lender will ask for proof of insurance, wouldn't they?
Not generally not during the term.
Oh, so it's just at renewal sometimes?
No, not even at renewal.
Really? Okay.
They don't ask for insurance at renewal. The lender only requires the fire insurance at time of purchase.
No way.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, fun
The
fact.
more you know with David Steinberg.
Awesome. Well, guys, thanks for playing my game of $500,000 investment.
Oh, tough game.
Yeah. Next up we have David. So
Yeah.
what do
Okay.
you got newspapers?
Actually, I do have something planned there, but I did see just in the little corner of the report on business today that the Feds, the U.S. Fed, is looking like that they are going to cut their interest rate in July. Ooh. And generally when they cut their rate, Canada does follow. So the little mini article goes on to explain that there haven't been too many inflationary effects from the tariffs yet, which gives the Fed a little bit of leeway in order to lower the rate and spur on a little bit more economic activity. So for those that are in a variable rate, that little article there is good news for people. It's looking like an interest rate cut is on the table for the Feds, and then it'll transfer over to here in Canada. Our next interest rate drop is in July.
Yeah.
End of July, right?
And end of July, and then I think in September after that. But I might be mistaken; it could be August. I think the overall sentiment is that there's at least going to be one more rate drop, if not two, maybe three, and it all depends on the data that comes out. So,
right.
if and actually now that there's a ceasefire in the Middle East, oil prices have stabilized. So oil prices are actually down a little bit, indicating that inflation isn't going to be as much of a concern. Mm-hmm. If Iran decides to shut down their Strait of Hormuz, then there could be a little bit more upward pressure on oil prices.
That makes sense. I was wondering why oil prices are linked, because there are so many oil embargoes with Iran right now.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. It's not Iranian oil, it's
the shipping. It's
Yeah.
the shipping. It's the oil that's coming out of Saudi Arabia that has to use that strait to get their oil out to the countries that they're exporting to. Right. Generally, I don't really think that the events in the Middle East are actually affecting our economy all that much. I think it's more just noise.
Well, sentiment.
Here.
Yeah.
Sentiment, right?
Yeah.
Noise and sentiment. Mm-hmm. And so this brings us back to and just cut me off if I'm taking too long.
No, please.
This brings me back to the age-old question, fixed or variable. Do I go fixed or variable? Everybody always asks me that, and I have to. I'm a statistician. I like to think that I am anyway. It's not really, But I still think there's more of a chance that rates are going down than they are going up. Albeit there's less of a chance now that rates are going down because of this inflationary talk because of tariffs. But I think that ultimately the economy, if we're going into a recession, which I think we probably are, the economic woes of the country are going to win out over inflation, and the Bank of Canada is still going to cut rates in order to spur on economic activity. So I'm still leaning a little bit more towards the variable rate. Now, that being said, of course, I have to say it all depends on you as a client. How are you going to feel about it? Are you going to be awake at night thinking about, oh, what's the variable rate doing tomorrow? That's not what it's meant. That's not that's not what you should be doing. If you're going to be that person, then just take the fixed rate and forget about it.
Yeah.
Because there's not actually that much difference between the fixed and the variable right now. But I think ultimately in about 6 months to a year, we're probably going to flatten out at around 3% for fixed rates. Whereas right now we're hovering around 4%. So if somebody wants to think, well, I'm ultimately going to save about a quarter of interest, if David's correct, and if rates are going to bottom out at around 3%, then they'll wait for that.
Right.
And then lock in when rates get to be around 3%.
Well, I have a question for you, David. So if we are predicting the bottom being around 3, like you just said, once we get there, would there be a large difference between fixed and variable at that point if the whole prediction is that it's not going down further?
No, I think variable rates might even be a little bit higher. Prime rate right now is at 4.95.
Yeah.
It's never going to again go to 2.45% like it was before.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's unreasonable for the variable rate to come down to 3.95 ultimately.
Yeah.
That's definitely not out of the realm. But that would have to be, you'd have to get a full discount on your variable rate in order to be at that 3% mark.
Right.
So I do think there is going to be somewhat of a sweet spot for people to lock in. So if the fixed rates do hover back down to around 3 to 3.25, I would probably at that point in time start saying lock in. Because I've lost all my hair over the last over a lot of people. So much heartburn over a lot of people saying to me that they've lived out the variable rate climbing up to 7.2. I don't take personal responsibility, obviously, and none of us ever thought that prime rate was going to go from 2.45 to 7.2. That was crazy. I thought maybe at the most prime rate was going to go up to around 4.5 to 5, where it is now. And because still the rate as where it is right now, it's still a little bit high. So I think maybe there might be a time where variable rates could drop a little bit below the fixed rates, but at that point in time, it's not necessarily worth the extra risk to stay in the variable rate. At that point in time, I'd probably fix. Yeah.
Okay.
Depending on how long you're going to have the mortgage for,
and
depending on which lender you're using. Because if you're only going to use, if you're only expecting to have the mortgage for 2 years and you lock into a 5-year term, then you're going to get hooped on the penalty if you want to pay out early. So that's where a lot more strategy and planning comes in.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. David.
I know what
thank
to
you.
do.
That's right.
Perfect. Should we move on to the BC Renter Report?
Bum, bum, bum.
Bum, bum, bum.
There's got to be some good news in there.
Oh no.
Yeah. Well, I have some interesting points I'd love to bounce off you guys. So BC Renter Report, annual report that comes out. It kind of talks about
Who creates the report?
it's not important, Vince. It's
Okay. All right.
It's another brokerage.
Okay.
Oh, I keep walking into this.
Yeah. I actually meant to tell you this beforehand because you're always so skeptical.
Stop
of these
asking for
reports.
sources. Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, the big reason behind this is like talking about home ownership and sentiment behind people in the general population in Canada, how they feel about home ownership, how attainable it is, etc. And the stat came out that only 53%, and this isn't all people, but 53% of renters plan to buy a home eventually.
Wow.
So 50% of renters and just 16% plan to buy in the next 2 years. Many renters are taking the wait and see approach, and that's kind of talking about what's kind of happening for sentiment right now. And what's kind of funny about these reports is they don't really mean anything. because sentiment can change so drastically, so quickly.
Intentions can change.
It's a point in time right now.
Exactly.
So.
And one thing that I've thought about is, like, obviously I think this number of 53% of renters buying a home eventually has obviously increased over years as home prices have increased, affordability has gone down, et cetera, et cetera. But the one thing that I think that maybe a lot of these renters is probably millennials, probably like a lot of younger people who just see it as like out of reach, out of touch, like they can't get there. And the one thing that I kind of think that is interesting that for these renters is the wealth transfer that's going to happen from boomers and their parents.
They also say, though, that like this massive wealth transfer that we're going to get is inflated because a lot of that money is going to go into things like, you know, care, homes, that sort of thing. So it'll be interesting to see how much money is actually passed down. But yeah, they say most people don't have any idea how much money is actually going to go to their end of life care. And it's a lot more than people think.
It's expensive.
Yeah, like
So
really
expensive.
expensive. Yeah. So a lot of that wealth will actually get chipped away.
Yep.
Sorry,
Yeah,
more
no,
bad news.
No,
but
100%. No, I agree, Jocelyn. But I think a lot of people are kind of planning with their current outlook in mind. And in 5, 10, 20 years, depending on how old you are and whatever, I think that can just, it's going to change drastically. Like a lot of these people, they're saying they're never going to buy a home. And I guarantee that's probably not true for
if someone
a lot
just
of them.
dropped $200,000 in everybody's lap, I feel like there would be a different sentiment. It's not
Exactly.
it's not that they're like, ew, home ownership, I don't want to buy a home. In a lot of circumstances, it's that they don't see it as achievable because they're not able to save, they're not able to have that down payment needed right now. So yeah, I think you're right, it could very easily change if all of a sudden there is this wealth transfer, there is money coming into their pockets, or if life just gets less expensive.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Wishful thinking.
I'm an optimist.
Yeah, so talking about affordability, it has them listed here. So 59% of renters spend over 1/3 of their income on rent.
It's so depressing.
And we generally say for people listening, 20. I think they say 25% of your income should go to housing.
Or I think it's under 1/3.
Yeah.
Under, is it a third?
For like
okay.
a comfortable economy.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Like well balanced. Yeah.
And so with 60% at over 1/3, it kind of shows the affordability. And this is in Canada. 25% are spending more than half of their income in rent. And then, basically renters are kind of obviously prioritizing monthly payments.
I mean, I love these words like prioritizing, like it's a choice that they're making.
That's a really good point.
Where you're like
that you obviously have to prioritize monthly payments.
You have to prioritize
you're
monthly
living
payments.
your life.
It's your cost of living.
Yeah,
like, it's not like
yeah.
they're like, I think this month I'm going to skip it.
You know, I don't want to save for retirement, actually.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Whenever I see these articles, I get a little like, because it's not choices that people are making for the right reasons. It's choices that they're being forced to make, in all honesty.
That's a really good point. But to be fair, I do feel that my generation and the generation before me or after me, younger people, we are more lifestyle oriented.
Oh yeah.
I've been on, like, I can't even imagine, like, my parents at 30 years old, I think went to Disneyland one time.
Oh yeah.
And so I've been to like 40 countries. Like, it's not the same.
We have a very different work-life balance. I mean, we see that where that priority on, mental health, on exercise, on good parts of your life where it's, we don't want to be grinding. And part of that could be because, what are you grinding for if you can't buy a house? You can't enjoy it. Yeah. Yep. So, it may be good, maybe bad. Hopefully we're all out there eating avocado toast and living our best lives.
Yeah. So I think there's obviously just been a shift in, I think, mindset, and then also in terms of and is that because things are less attainable, like Jocelyn said? Like, it's very interesting to me. Rental market trends. Vince is going to yell at me when I say these numbers. I'll skip Vancouver. It's really high.
How do people live there?
I don't know. Actually, a friend of mine, when I was in Vancouver this weekend, they bought a townhouse, 2-bed, 1-bath townhouse. Can you guess the price?
Where?
Like south of what's that market? Granville Island. Like, I would say like a 20-minute walk to Granville Island.
I think more. I think like 1 point.
Townhouse?
Like
Yeah,
how many square feet?
2-bed, 1-bath, 836 square feet.
Ooh, okay.
Small.
1-1.
1.4.
What year?
1.5.
It's a 70s townhouse.
Okay. Renovated at all?
Like it looks nice. It doesn't need work.
What are the amenities of the building?
It's a townhouse. Nothing. You get one parking spot and maybe some storage.
I think
You have a nice view on your
950.
balcony.
That's my final.
I think 1.4.
Yeah, 1.3.
Okay. Vince was $3,000 off.
Wow.
There you
Vince,
go.
that's
Wow.
why he's
That's
the
not
stats
bad,
guy.
actually.
He's the
Right,
stats
yeah.
guy.
That's why he's
Although
the
to be
stats guy.
fair, Vancouver real estate I've heard has taken a massive hit. Like we
It has.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we talked
yeah.
to a lot of people where stuff is not selling.
Yeah,
That's
but
a great deal.
No, but yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's like, oh my god, such a great deal, but like at the same time, like a 2-bedroom condo is selling for $890,000,
Yeah,
for example.
true.
So
Your price per square foot in that townhouse is over $1,000 a square foot, which is still, it's crazy. So like, yeah, it's a good deal compared to 1.4, but it's still over $1,000 a square foot.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
I think when you're living in a certain city like Vancouver, I think your expectations of what you're getting just shift. You know, like
1,000%.
Yeah.
I've been banging this drum for years.
yeah,
People in Vancouver, bless your heart, but you are a world-class city. And if I move to New York next year and I say, well, prices are too high here, I can only afford a 1-bedroom apartment and I should be able to afford a house because I'm used to that. No, like if you're in a world-class city, I'm sorry, you have to pay for that location. And Vancouver is arguably the nicest, metropolitan city. Okay, that's
I had some thoughts on
in
that.
Canada.
but-
yeah, in Canada.
I would say maybe in the world. I think it's up there.
It makes the list quite often.
Yeah.
It makes the top 10 list. So I'm sorry, like to say, oh yeah, well it's not like it used to be. Sure, but I mean compared to New York or Hong Kong or London, can you imagine the audacity of David moving to London and saying, well, I'm outraged that I have to pay this much, because he's going to start with a British accent.
Yeah.
I'm outraged that I have to pay this much for housing. It's like everyone in London is like, yeah, we've been paying that for 50 years. Like, get in line.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
you move to the suburbs, or you
Exactly.
sell your house in Vancouver, you move to Victoria, you get,
We get a lot of people calling and saying, "Can you arrange a mortgage in Alberta?" Because people are just like, "I can't ever buy here, and
Sure.
I'm going to buy in Alberta." So
yeah.
But yeah, sorry, we got off topic. But
So off topic.
Victoria rents
Always
are,
gets me riled up.
are quoted as 1 beds for $2,160 and 2 beds for $2,890. And I'm going to agree with Vince on this. I think this is too high.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Thank you.
I'm seeing
Yeah.
more like 1,600, 1,700,
And
1,800
I think it
for
depends.
one-bedrooms.
If you have a brand new 1-bedroom and you're renting it in Victoria, sure, maybe you can get $2,160.
But even still, downtown core.
Yeah,
Not
but
right
I
now.
think it's like the top of the market's $2,160, and I think it trends down to like Jocelyn was saying, like 16 to 1,800 probably on the low end, and then 2 beds, same story. I think you can rent out. I have seen 2-bed 2 baths being rented out for $2,890 easily, but I don't
feel
think
like
that's
they
the
pulled
average.
like the most expensive listing
Maybe.
off of Craigslist,
Yeah.
and we're like, shock value.
But yeah, that kind of sums up my points with the renter report. Yeah.
But, I will say we have a lot of these conversations with people who are feeling the sentiment. They are feeling depressed. They don't think they'll ever qualify for a mortgage. They don't think they'll ever be able to buy something, and they can.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's so important to have that conversation with someone like David. If you're just not sure, if you're like, hey, you know what, I'm making this much, I have this much in that I could save, talk to somebody, even if you think it's not possible, because they also can give you a plan for where to go, for what to do in your next couple of years if homeownership is something that you do want to achieve, if it's important to you. And I think is easier to attain than the average person thinks right now.
Yeah. Well, one thing I'll touch on that is actually our development, 1789 Emerson. So
Great plug.
Great plug. Wait. So the whole thing that we've kind of masterminded a little bit is with the for new buyers, there's a GST rebate now, 5%. So the developer's only asking for a 5% down or deposit. And you have to come up with a bit more for the 500 to, like, I think our lowest one is priced at 775.
yeah, 10% of any amount between 500 and the purchase.
So what would that be? What is 10% of 5, 6, 7, 8? Or sorry, 5, 6,
Quick
7,
math.
275. So $30,000. If you have $30,000, well, you have to come up with the $50,000 for the deposit. But then once the rebate comes back, you're getting that $50,000 back from that GST, and there's no property transfer tax on this property. So all you need is a $50,000 plus the 30, but you get that 50,000 back. So realistically, all you actually need is $30,000 plus fees to buy this townhouse. And at 775, like I think it's quite easy to, not quite easy, but it's a lot more attainable than a lot of other product. And
it's attainable. Yeah.
And it's townhomes in the core.
Mm-hmm. So to those 53% of people who don't think that they could buy a home,
do you have $30,000?
come and talk to us and to David.
Mm-hmm. Not an offer to sell. All right. I think, are we going to do the neighborhood highlight for Esquimalt?
Yeah, let's talk about Esquimalt. Okay. Yeah, we were feeling a little nervous because we don't have any notes on it, but we all know Esquimalt.
Sure.
Let's talk about it. Yeah, Esquimalt. It's near downtown.
Thanks, everybody.
Very close. It used to have a very bad rap.
It did.
I remember when I moved. When I moved here in 2005. And I had a few people tell me, "Oh, don't buy in Esquimalt." And don't buy in Fernwood.
Oh, really?
And I thought to myself, like, I'm from Calgary, and there's actual, like, gritty neighborhoods in Calgary. That there's no gritty neighborhoods here.
I mean, like comparatively to other Victorian neighborhoods, Esquimalt was rough for a while. And
I think it's come a long way.
It has come so
completely
far.
gentrified.
Yeah, it's completely gentrified. I mean, there's still pockets where you're like,
it's a little bit more rundown.
A little bit more rundown. There's a little bit of eyesores, that sort of thing. But there is some fantastic pockets in there where there's like all these really nice single family, you've got waterfront.
What's the Bullen Park?
Yeah.
Like that neighborhood, like just like around Bullen Park. Mm-hmm. I love that neighborhood.
It's great.
Super walkable.
To the like the coffee shops and grocery shopping, and then you have the nice park for playing sports, and then you're walkable to the ocean.
You've got
Sax Point Park.
Sax Point Park. Yeah. There's just, I mean, Esquimalt used to be kind of like the secret for a little bit. Correct me if I'm wrong. Where if you were looking for affordability in Victoria, somewhere that was going to be kind of an up and comer, Esquimalt.
Yeah, definitely.
Esquimalt was where you would recommend, where you're walkable to downtown, you've got all these amenities, there's a lot of gentrification happening, a lot of new builds, a lot of developers have their eyes set.
Is it still the
prices are creeping.
Yeah, they're coming up. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it's interesting too, like one of the reasons Esquimalt had this sort of rough and tumble reputation is it started out as a separate community from Victoria. So if you go back to the days of the Hudson's Bay Trading Post in downtown Victoria, the Pacific Naval Fleet of the British military was in Esquimalt Harbor, and so they actually carved a road through the forest by hand to connect Esquimalt to downtown Victoria. And Esquimalt was always a place where, like, those were sailors and sailors' families that were there. It was very, this is going back like 150 years. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's definitely improved a lot. It's cleaned up. But there still, of course, is a strong demand for housing there because you have a huge employer. You have several huge employers at the graving dock and those different types of industrial operations. So I think it definitely presents an interesting spot for if you're thinking like a rental property, or even we were talking earlier about buying a single family and then having something that you could upzone or switch into a small multifamily, like the fourplex, that type of thing. But definitely one of the things I love about Esquimalt is its proximity to so many of these little hidden beaches. So Buxton Green, Sax Point, Macaulay Point, there are all of these, and as you go up into Esquimalt Harbor, you have all of these little boat launches and places to go kayaking and paddleboarding that people it's not on people's radar. So you have, the average price in Esquimalt might be lower than, say, Oak Bay, but you have these little enclaves around Sax Point. We were just at a real estate open house.
Crazy.
$3 million waterfront, incredible listings, and you have access to the Olympic, you have views to the Olympic Mountains. So it is really cool little enclaves as well. Esquimalt is not just one neighborhood. It really varies as you go
we
block
talked
to
about
block.
this before, actually. Yeah, there's like 6 to 8 different neighborhoods within Esquimalt, and they all do kind of have a different feel. We were going to break it down, but they're very small little pockets, so we've kind of encapsulated it all. But it's really good to kind of talk about Esquimalt and not just write it off, because I think that is the tendency, especially if you're, long time Victoria. I mean, I talked to my mom and she's like, "Wow, Esquimalt.
Yeah.
I know a friend of a friend who got stabbed there once."
And don't get me started about with Langford.
Right. Yeah. Shout out, Mom. Sorry.
I love how Esquimalt is so central, though. because you can really get to Costco quickly. You can get to the other side. You can get to Oak Bay quickly. You can get to downtown quickly.
I will say though, with the Esquimalt, is during rush hour.
Bad.
Horrible.
Really bad. Yeah.
What is it? Is it the Admirals and
Admirals and
It's the base.
Craigflower?
Yeah.
Craigflower is really bad right now. They're doing a lot of construction. So that's one thing to keep in mind. You can feel a little bit trapped in there during rush hour. That's probably one of the downsides.
Other than rush hour though, it's good.
Other than that, it's fine. Drive through there all the time. So it's that.
But you have to get through there to get to Langford to go home.
Yeah.
So it's almost like I'd prefer to be in Esquimalt when I'm already home.
Absolutely.
Versus
Definitely.
in Langford.
100%.
Well, and on a good day, it's 15 minutes from downtown. So if you don't want to be with downtown going the way
It's very bikeable
going.
too.
It is very bikeable.
bikeable.
Yeah, very bikeable. Also, it's got lots of developers that are infusing money in it. There's I'm gonna do a shout out to my favorite restaurant in Victoria right now, which is Genevka. Delicious, so good.
Yeah. Can we, if we're gonna do restaurants, can I list my? That's what.
What you got?
Yeah. Okay. So Genevka. I actually haven't been there yet. I'm hopefully going there on Friday.
It's so
You
good.
can't have that on your list if you haven't been there.
This is my to-do and my list. This is what has been recommended to me. Syriana Restaurant and Catering. If you guys haven't tried Syrian restaurant,
No.
but very, very good. And that's right on Esquimalt Road. With the La Belle Patate.
La Belle Patate.
Classic. You gotta try
Classic.
it.
I mean, if you want poutine in Victoria, I think that's the spot. There's the Sax Point Public House. It's like a bar that's inside that new little complex. Esquimalt Roasting Company, probably my favorite coffee shop in all of Victoria.
Ooh.
Yeah, my favorite coffee. They roast all their own coffee. Really, really good. And there's Sushi Story, which is an underrated kind of small sushi
Agreed.
spot.
Yeah, very good.
I've heard there's a good Thai restaurant too. I don't know. I haven't been there myself, but
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Green Elephant.
that's it came up
Yeah.
when I was looking at restaurants the other day.
And then Bunny's Nook Kitchen, like for a little breakfast place.
They have
of
some
like
good
hidden.
vegan options too.
Yes.
One again, very walkable. Like it's all you can park your car and walk around and get to a bunch of restaurants.
Yeah.
And
then one I haven't been to, but it's on the list. Sorry, I don't know if it counts, Vince. Is Kazuna Ramen on Douglas. Wait, it's not even
On Douglas?
It's just that's in the name. It's not on Douglas. It's
Okay.
on
That's funny.
Fairview Road. They just haven't updated their Google. But I've been meaning to go to this place for a while.
Okay.
It's hopefully going to rival my other favorite ramen place.
There's also the little secret, the little taco place that's right
Amy?
in Craigflower Foods. It's in the convenience store.
Yeah. We actually talked about
we
that.
talk- we talked about this?
We cheated and we talked about it in Vic West.
we did.
That was
yeah.
me. That was my
we were
bad.
right on the border.
But it is actually
Yeah.
technically Esquimalt. So Amy,
Yeah.
Mexico. Yeah, probably best authentic kind of like street taco Mexican food.
Yeah. So there you go. I mean, Esquimalt. Don't write it off just because it's got a bad rap. It's
Also beautiful golf course, Gorgeous
Yeah.
Valley Golf Club.
beautiful golf course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of positives. And you put up with a little bit of rough and tumble for a little while, and I think it'll be worth it.
Perfect. Awesome. Does that conclude Esquimalt? God, I think we killed it for having no
Yeah.
notes.
No notes.
Well done,
Pretty good.
guys.
Off the cuff. Thank goodness for Vince and his history.
Wikipedia over here.
Vincepedia.
Vince, you got us a little market update?
Yeah, I mean, and it is a little market update. It's really business as usual. And I think one of the things, David was talking about earlier in the episode was, consumer sentiment. And consumer sentiment is so scary. I saw a headline this morning. Major developer in Vancouver's laid off a ton of their staff. They're mothballing a lot of projects that don't pencil anymore. But then when we actually look at the data of what's actually selling in Victoria, May over May, which is the last month where we have full stats, sales are about the same. And if you adjust for the fact that we had one less business day, now this is getting really pedantic, but if you adjust for the fact that we had one less business day this year versus last year, we're actually right on track. We had the same number of sales, per business day, and they were actually up a little bit. So I'd say it's roughly flat overall.
But more inventory, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Way more
so
inventory.
this is
So
the
there's the
thing to
difference.
really keep an eye on. And this is, I think, what has people kind of a little bit fearful about the future. We're at close to a 20-year high for inventory. I think is it 19
I
years?
actually have updated a June kind of markets here.
Yeah. So we're just over 3 years since the peak of prices, which was spring of 2022. We didn't really see a crash, but we definitely, some neighborhoods came down quite a bit and then came up, and now we're kind of level. So, when people say, I'm looking for the bottom, like often you don't know where the bottom of the market is until it's past you. And we're kind of, we're bouncing along on this flat thing with uncertainty, missile attacks, all this kind of stuff. Like, I can't think of a better time to be out buying. If you're selling, you have to listen to what the market is telling you.
Yeah,
so
to be aggressive.
when your agent is telling you, oh, I think we should list at X, like, it's not the agent just trying to get a fast sale. It's the agent saying, this is what the data is telling us. And if you're not listening, when you list your home, if you're not getting showings, change the price. Like, I guarantee you, if you're getting 0 inquiries, it's not just because the camera angle wasn't right in your listing. It's absolutely related to the price. If it's not selling, the price is not compelling. And that's a tagline to keep in mind, especially as we see more competition. And you see this. If you're listening to this and you're driving around Victoria, pay attention to the amount of listing signs that are in front lawns, stacked outside of condo buildings. The listings are piling up more than we've seen in decades.
Yeah, we're getting close to, is it 4,000 active listings?
It's crazy. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's a big number.
One thing that I want to touch on is talking about rebound. So are we at the bottom? When are we going to start rebounding? And there was this interesting tidbit that I found in the stats where I looked at past historical condo corrections in specifically. And so in 1981, there was up to a 40% drop at that time, and it took 8 years after that for it to fully correct.
Wow.
Okay, hang on. For the person who just heard 40% drop, that is spread out over like 5-6 years.
Yes.
So
not one time.
our
drop.
market doesn't drop in Victoria.
Yeah.
It cools off and then it heats up.
And then in the 90s, it was extended a little bit by the leaky condo crisis, but that took about 8 years for their rebound. 2010, they had a mild dip about 5%, and it took about 5-6 years for that correction. So this correction, we're about 3 years in, and so if history repeats itself, we're looking at probably 2 to 5 more years before a full recovery, unless obviously this cycle is different or we have some other external factor that affects us.
Yeah, but the buyer doesn't want to wait for the recovery.
No,
I
exactly.
mean, now by far, I feel like is
Yeah.
the best time to get into something because you've got choice. You can maybe make low offers on properties, especially if a property's been sitting a long time.
Yes.
You guys would be the experts on advising your clients. Here we can make a lower offer.
Well, and here's where
know.
I think the confusion is coming for some buyers right now, because we are talking about the market correcting. We're coming into a balanced market, more so a buyer's market in some circumstances. However, if people are pricing their properties, as Vince was saying, in the correct zone, and they're hitting that pricing on the first time, things are selling really quickly. We're seeing them go 1, 2, 3 days on market, selling for asking, maybe a little bit under, and multiple offers in some situations. So this can be really confusing for people because they're looking at some properties and they're seeing, 60, 90 days on market. They've been sitting forever. And then they'll see some properties where they want to go see them and it's sold before it's even the weekend. So it is really important to talk to your real estate professional if you're interested in a property as soon as possible. And yeah, where we're seeing the deals is those properties that have been sitting and there haven't been any price drops, and they've been sitting for however long. So yeah.
One thing I'm seeing here, David, is this time last year, or it was May last year, around 10% of mortgages were variable. A lot of people going fixed. Yeah. And it's saying this year, May, 44% is variable. So huge surge in variable.
Oh yeah, big surge in variable rates because our prime rate went from 7.2 to 4.95.
Yeah.
So we've also seen a similar sort of drop in fixed rates. Our fixed rates at their high was about 6%, and now I feel like we're hovering around 4%. But yeah, I think with the rate having been dropping and also with more drops to come, people are opting more for the variable rate.
Right.
But now with the fixed rates kind of went on this head and shoulders pattern where you got the first shoulder and then it comes down a little bit, and then we had the head, which was the height. Yeah. And now we're kind of coming over that second shoulder. So rates dropped quite a bit, and I'd say we were at a low of maybe 3.75 or so, and then because of all this tariff stuff, it kind of came over that second shoulder. So I feel like what we're expecting now is rates are going to be still coming down more with that head and shoulders effect. So, it also fixed variable also depends on, I feel like, greatly what lender you're looking at, because if it is a big bank and the rate is still somewhat high, I would still recommend the variable rate even if it's higher. Because
Okay, awesome. Guys, I think that wraps everything up. Any last tidbits of any listings we want to plug?
Yeah,
Tell me, please.
So I have. If you're someone who's like, oh, I'm only ever going to have a condo, like that's all I can afford, or I don't want one of these townhomes that are, tiny little yards. I want a garden. This home is for the gardener in your life. So it's a half duplex on Kelly Road. We're relisting it today at a sharper price. It's got this beautiful yard where you can grow all kinds of vegetables. You can store an RV. There's all kinds of storage and growing opportunities, and it's priced really, really sharply at $769,000. So if you or someone you know are looking for an affordable townhome style layout but wants a yard and doesn't want to be stuck in these little tiny patio terrace things that are the newer builds, check out the listing on Kelly Road. It's 618 Kelly Road, Unit A. Check it out. That's my plug for a really good deal and a really good unit.
I'm gonna plug. We're actually relisting 1-bedroom condo this week. Hopefully, by the time this comes out, it's not already sold. Actually, I hope it is sold. But top floor condo, 665 square feet ish, near UVic. Great for UVic students, or if you want to buy an investment close to UVic for your kids. Really, really good price. We're going to be listing at $425.
Wow.
Ooh, that is a good price.
One bedroom?
One
bedroom.
One bedroom.
Still.
Large.
One bath. Sorry?
It's a large unit.
Yeah, it has like a dining room, has a full living room, nice deck, separate
Nice.
kitchen.
Okay.
Underground secure parking.
Yeah. So keep your eyes on for that one. That's $1,580 Christmas.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome. Guys, Jocelyn?
Yeah. Mine have sold, so.
Oh, okay.
You're just so good at your job.
She's
What
too
a
good.
show
She's
off.
just too good at her
Okay,
job.
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
have any listings because they've all sold.
Coming soon, but I can't talk about them yet. So.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you for listening to the Victoria Real Estate Podcast produced by the CityNest team. We've had some fantastic reviews, and we love them, so please leave us a review on Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you are listening. We also really appreciate you guys sharing the podcast with friends and family. Otherwise, guys, how can people get in touch?
Send me an email, please. Vincent@citynest.ca.
Or leave a flyer on the wall, and Vince will respond to it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, on the bulletin board.
Yeah. You can call me at 604-907-2074.
Awesome. David?
Yeah, I'd say just call me, 250-858-7160.
Awesome. And you can reach out to me, Adrian, at 250-464-4122 or on Instagram at Adrian Real Estate Victoria. Thanks, guys.